tight, the little torn corner. Because the presentation and staging of your idea is as important as the idea itself. Just saying, oh, I'm good, people sometimes come up to me, they were even doing it this morning, saying, I've got this great idea, I'm going to combine this and this. Okay, that's a start, but that's really not the project. The choosing the things just gets you started. How you decide to stage it, how you decide to frame it. Like the fish tank, for example. You change that barrel, the idea doesn't work. Elizabeth, from the morning class. Elizabeth from the morning class, she had a really strong one last semester, and it was totally on the staging of it. She had her 2 objects the first day, and it was there, and it was a great idea. But then it took her like 2 or 3 weeks to kind of stage it properly. So as you guys are looking around, as you guys are thinking these, here's what I would suggest you do. I seriously want you to do this. Tonight, nothing is due on this for 2.5 weeks, but tonight, thumbnail for like 20 minutes. Because here's what will happen. You'll thumbnail, you'll put down your initial ideas, and you'll say, okay, but good, the deadline's not for a while yet, you don't have to do anything with it, and you'll walk away. And don't touch it again until you go to do your sketches. And here's what's going to happen. 2 days from now, if you do this tonight, 2 days from now, you're going to be showering. Yeah. Shower head thing. And then you're going to be driving 3 days from now, and you're going to go, oh, billboard. So, you're going to what's going to happen is it's going to invite your subconscious to start working on the idea. And you're going to spend the next 2.5 weeks walking around working without knowing it. You're going to do everything you see. Oh, I could do a pin thing. Okay. So seriously, that's the way to do this. Question?
Do you have to come up with a Latin name or whatever?
I think you don't have to necessarily, but I think it's kind of nice. I think
if I want to work with a word pun, then I feel like it's going to lose it.
Okay, well, see, you're the creative person. You've got to make these decisions and test them out. But it's up to you. It's up to you. Yes. You could use mythical creatures, but you have to be able to reference them. So like for instance, if you do a unicorn, well, okay, horse, that's pretty easy. You do a centaur, that's still pretty easy because it's 2 objects. It's really the assignment already. But I'd rather have you guys do something that is original, so it wouldn't be just a centaur. You know what I mean? I'd like you to do something that is more creative than that. Yeah?
So do you want it to look like a specimen that's like a photograph of something that's in like a cage with a label, or do you want it to look like a scientific illustration?
It could be done either way. I want it to, actually I do want it to look realistic. Not so much like the scientific illustration, unless, some scientific illustrations are very realistic. I want it to look realistic in that you're going to be simulating light and shade. Yeah.
For like the way it's labeled and stuff.
We'll get into this a little bit further on. Everything should look basically physically there. Yeah.
So it should be in a sense like you're walking through that museum, you walk by a case and what was that?
In a way, but there are some that break that rule, like for instance the sunflower radar dish, radio dish. But even that is kind of done a certain way, so it feels 3D. Everything should feel 3D, I would say that.
And does it matter if it's portrait or landscape?
I think I specified landscape as of last semester. Check that. There's a handout on the Yahoo site in the homework handouts folder. Check on there, and I think I did specify that I want them all to be landscape from now on. But anyway, this is Dougal Sturmer. Did a nice job on the type. Really, very nice. A couple more of these. Okay, now, one of the other things I like about this project project is it gives us a bit of an excuse to talk about more creative things. Most of this class is really not that creative. Most of the stuff, when you're rendering a sphere, rendering a cylinder, it's, and even the Cube City, you're learning technically how to do some stuff, but the creativity aspect of it is a little bit limited compared to a project like this. So I like that this gets us talking about it. Now, here's the best thing that the best description of creativity I've ever seen. Now, this is from a book called The Act of Creation by a guy named Arthur Kessler, that guy. And it's an incredible book, okay? I don't recommend it to many people. And the reason I don't is because it took the guy 10 years to write it, and it kind of reads like that, where when you're reading the book, you're reading his book, and you'll come across, you'll read a paragraph. This is an imitation of me reading his book. Reading a paragraph, reading a paragraph, reading a paragraph, going. Reading a paragraph, reading. It's like you have every sentence is like this, where you read it and you have to stop and think about exactly what he means. You know what I mean? It's very dense, but not bad dense, just dense. Like he thought his way through every single word choice, and his meanings are so particular that it's a little hard to get through. Okay. However, it's a phenomenal book, and because he has some of the best thinking I've ever read about creativity. Now, here's his theory about creativity. Actually, let's start off with this. As quickly as possible. Don't wait to raise your hand, just yell it out. As quickly as possible. I'm going to give you two things and tell me what they have in common. Okay? Elephants and baseball.
Subjects.
What?
They're both subjects.
They're both subjects. What else do they have in common? Go.
They're both slow.
They're both slow. Thank you. You were in the morning class. What else?
Peanuts.
Peanuts. That's the first. Usually the first one. Usually someone says, elephants, baseball. Peanuts. Someone yells it out. Okay. Other people have said they're both slow. You know, someone in the morning class says 4 bases and 4 legs. Okay. You know. Okay. Here's the real answer. There is no similarity between elephants and baseball, but our brain finds one. Finds more than one. Open A's. You know. They're both. You know. They both have to do with wrinkles. I don't know. You know, old people with baseball. And I don't know. I'm just going. You know, the point is, if you ask, try this with your friends. Have 2 people pick, you know, or give them 2 objects and ask them what they have in common, and you'll be surprised how quickly they come up with stuff that you would never have thought of. You know, you're trying to make them random, but our brain finds, and a part of our brain loves this. Our left brain goes, what do you mean? They don't have anything in common. And then the other part of our brain goes, oh, they're blah, blah, blah. You know, you pour something out. And you guys, that's the unexpected logic. You know? So what Arthur Kessler has to say about creativity is he says what we call creativity is we call lots of different things by different names when really they're all one thing. They're all this creative thought. And his thing is this. He describes creativity as the intersection of 2 planes of thought. See what I mean? The book's a little dense. He says, think about the first plane. This first plane is everything you know about elephants. They're big, they're slow, they're wrinkled, they're gray. There's 2 different kinds. You know, and then you have your plane of knowledge of everything you know about baseball. And as your brain finds intersections between those 2 planes, they're slow, they're old, you know, whatever. That's the join, that's the intersection, that's the unexpected logic of where they do connect somehow. All right? Now, once in a while. Oh yeah, so his thing is this. If you combine two ideas and the result is beautiful, we call it art. If the result makes us laugh, we call it humor. If the result makes us understand something better, we call it science. If it makes us have a spiritual reaction or an understanding, a feeling of oneness with the world, we call it spirituality or religion. So his point is that all these things are really a collision of two ideas that leads to a third understanding or a new understanding. That's his definition of creativity. He has this great thing. He loves talking about humor in the book because he said it's the one form of creativity that is unequivocal. And what he means is this. He says, laughter. You can't fake it. You can try, but not really. You either find something funny or he has this great line about laughter. He says, laughter is the Geiger counter of humor. You say something, someone laughs, that was funny. If someone genuinely laughs. If it wasn't really that funny, they smile a little. But if you really make someone laugh, they can't hold it in. Have you ever tried to hold back laughter? Hardest thing in the world. This was the class we were talking about unrestrained laughter. I love it. It's my favorite thing. Okay, so now I'm going to show you 4 artists who I think are interesting to look at